might think ye पूछने से my इज्जत will go. If you don't ask, then it's a problem. Don't carry any infection with you. Spell it out. And I know there will be 101 issues once I start. There are very basic things that we will do. Our chapter's name is matter around us pure? ठीक है? सिया, सिया बोल रहा हूँ. आद्या, तो बंद कर दो उसको. The reason is that then you get prejudiced, okay? Come, let's start with a discussion about some things that we studied in, maybe in grade 6 level or maybe at grade 7 level. Chemical change versus physical change. Okay. And we're not going to talk about something like ice melts into water is known as a physical change. Let's understand these two. This is very important and this is the basic, right? If you have a substance and the substance completely changes in a process, chemically, not just by state. Say I have got ice and you kept it in room temperature, the ice started to melt and it became water. Now you'll say, sir, you had something different, now you have something different. You started heating water, it became steam. Chemically, it has not changed. Whether you know or not, let's take the example. Let's say this is a block of ice and on liquid, this is water. And when it becomes steam, this is steam, right? Now, I would assign a formula H2O to this also. And in higher classes, we'll put S in brackets, standing that this is solid form of water, which is nothing but ice, not a cone, a cone, right? And this is liquid form of water. And this is gaseous form of water. This is a physical change. A physical change can be pulled back or may be allowed to go in the same side by changes in temperature and pressure. This is possible. Have you understood? However, let's take the example of milk. And in every house, you make curd from milk, right? And you turn milk to curd. You will be heating milk. And then you will be adding some old sample of curd to that milk. Then there will be bacteria process. By the way, how many of you know? I don't know. If you are vegetarian by diet, never ever try to see milk and curd under microscope. The only thing that you used to eat, you will never eat in life, okay? So there will be a lot of bacteria. What is that? Lactobacillus, okay? And then curd is formed. This change is a chemical change. You cannot turn back curd to milk by normal process of heating or cooling. Take a piece of paper and cut it into 100 different papers. Now they can badla. But every paper is still paper. It's a physical change. It's not a chemical change. So this was a grade 6 level example. Let us try to understand it at a higher grade level. Okay. Let me take two gases. Say hydrogen. Hydrogen as a gas is highly explosive. Highly explosive. Okay. And let's take another gas called oxygen. Oxygen does not burn. Keep that in mind. Oxygen supports combustion. Oxygen is not flammable. Oxygen supports combustion. I hope you know what is combustion. You studied about it in last year. So in our Desi language, if this is one Bhasmasur, this one supports the Bhasmasur activity. Do you agree? If you make them react chemically, they produce a beautiful child called water, which is used as fire extinguisher. Interesting. The offspring does not carry any parental property at all. Have you understood? You didn't understand this? This is an explosive gas. This supports combustion, but this one is used for extinguishing fire. It's the child of these two only. Properties of the new product are completely different from the properties of the participating compounds, elements, whatever it is. We'll get into this. Such a change is called a chemical change. In every chemical change, you will always have new substance, new properties. Always remember this. And we will be encountering it a lot in this chapter. New substance, new properties. कुछ नया बनेगा, नए properties. And these new properties are with respect to the participating ones. Carbon. I make say a lot of barbecue. So I have a lot of coal lying on my balcony. There's a lot of oxygen. Do you expect that all the coal will burn? No, they don't burn. I have to give energy. So in this chemical change or this chemical process reacts chemically, there will also be another actor in the process, energy. Energy will be either absorbed or energy will be either released. दो में से एक होगा, पर होगा ही होगा. This will happen. This happens here also in physical change, very small. But here the change will be very drastic. It can be in the form of sound, light, or heat. Energy cannot be gas. Sound, light. Like you burn crackers in Diwali. You see the sound, you hear the sound, you see the light, and there is a lot of heat also produced. Have you understood? A chemical change will always bring a new substance with new properties which are completely different from the participating reactants, and there will always be a transaction of energy. We will revisit this once again. But if you don't see this much story, then you'll not understand the movie that will go. This is in our Dhurandhar style, chapter 0. This is chapter 0. You need to understand this. Let me take one more example. There is an item available called, I'm saying item, okay, sulfur. Sulfur is available as yellow powder. In fact, if you, in this summers, if you have a lot of, say, itch and all on your body, prickly heat, samajhte ho? Prickly heat. So prickly heat will have a lot of eruptions on your skin. Have you seen? So one of the very good treatment is sulfur mixed with coconut oil. In Hindi, we call it gandhak in Ayurveda. So if you mix it with that and apply, it takes care of it. Let's take some sulfur. Okay. So this is like a khana khazana. 1 चम्मच sulfur लीजिए, 1 spoon of sulfur, and take another 1 spoon of iron powder, Fe, right? And we mix them, right? And you mix them. After you mix them, you bring one small magnet near it. What will happen? The magnet is going to attract all the iron to it. I hope you did not try to correlate the example I was giving. Parental properties are not yet lost. One of the parental properties is magnetization. And magnetization is not yet lost. You brought a magnet and it immediately pulled up all the iron. But if you heat this mixture at an elevated temperature, it will form something called a sort of a black lump. What it is, we will see. After that, if you bring the magnet, nothing happens. Physical change didn't take place. Chemical change took place. Some new substance with new properties have been formed, as a result of which parental property is lost. At this juncture, do you understand what is a chemical change and a physical change? A physical change transforms a state which apparently might appear to you that a new substance has been formed. No. Physical change is all like, mythological stories where that same Rakshasa used to come sometimes as like a sage, he will come up. Ravan disguised as a sage. That was a physical change, not a chemical change. Are you understanding the fact? In physical change, there will be energy transaction because ice ko pani karne ke liye, you have to give little bit of heat. There will be energy, but very less. However, parental property will not be lost. Let us take one more example. Very, very common example in our house. We have what you call atta dough. You make wheat, flour, samajhte hai na, atta, and you have made a dough out of it. After the dough, you have taken out small balls and you have rolled them into chapatis. Now, if you bake that chapati, jisko hum tawe pe sek lenge, it forms a roti. Chemical change. The roti, if you even put it in a mixer grinder and you granulate into powder, if you again put water, you can't make that dough once again. It's a chemical change. Chemical changes are usually irreversible unless and until you have applied lot of pressure, heat, temperature and other things. Physical changes are reversible. Have you understood this? All of you, did you understood this? This knowledge we will be using a little bit ahead in the chapter. This is not the chapter at all. Shall we? Abhigya madam, you're running a lot. Shall we go ahead? Hey, Ahan, understood this much? Physical and chemical change. Yeah, good. People all nod head. Current generation, they nod head or. Chalo, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Name of the chapter is matter around us pure, right? So let's start with a nice little story. This is the loving child of a mother, and oh my God, the glasses are as big as the face, right? There's a loving child of a mother, and the mother is very much interested with the nutrition of the child. And there are two glasses. One has got milk in it, and one has got something we call as casein, what this is known as potassium cyanide. Let me tell you, one drop goes into your body, immediately you become photo. You understand, right? Photo means every year we'll be replacing the garland. One drop goes into your body, finished. What does cyanide do? What cyanide people use for, like many people, if you see terrorist squads and all, they have it. Oxygen in your blood has iron attached to it. Cyanide immediately goes and replaces the iron and sticks to all this oxygen, and it will be immediate death. Immediate death. That's why in spy movies and all things, they will immediately consume it. So a glass of potassium cyanide and a glass of milk, and the effect. The strange part is, in chemistry, this is considered as pure and this is considered impure. Our story starts from here. So interesting. A glass of milk is impure in chemistry. Has any school started this chapter? Very good. बहुत कुछ पता ही है तुम्हें फिर. Yours also. And many school, okay. And a glass of potassium cyanide, which is going to kill this child immediately, is considered pure. ऐसा क्यों? आइए जानते हैं. So let's take a lovely piece of, I love this, that's why I always take this example, Black Forest cake. Does Black Forest cake has mass in it? Yes. Does it occupy space? Yes. Can it be felt if I throw it on your mouth, or sorry, on your face? You can feel it? Then can I call it matter? Yes. Very good. Matter is divided into, and this is the diagram which we will make. We will be making this diagram many times. Isko to ekdam, this should be in the back of your mind, like your favorite hero ka chehra jaisa, or heroine, whatever it is. Black Forest cake or matter is divided into two categories: impure and pure. This chapter deals more with the impure section, but we will first dive into pure. Agar pure ko nahi samjha, if you don't know God, then you'll not understand who is evil, right? Fine. So let's start with pure. Pure is subdivided into two categories: elements and compounds. And this is the section where every child, after 2-3 levels of interrogation, like the movie Drishyam, they will give some ulta-pulta answer, right? Okay. Another thing that you will need as a part of grade 9, though not in your syllabus, and you need to have this fixed in the wall in front of your study table, is not your favorite hero or heroine, but something which is known as the periodic table. The periodic table is like the UN of all elements. In UN, every country is represented by one person, and that person's in front of that person, it will be written India. Means he is authorized to speak on behalf of India. So the periodic table, you can say either it's a shadi.com portal, right? Or it is a UN, where every element will be represented by an atom in its most beautiful state. Just like in a shadi.com portal, you see the girl will always, or boy will upload his or her best pictures. Seldom do you know that she also throws things on others, right? So here we will have, the periodic table has all elements, remember that. And these elements are represented by atoms. So we have an element out here whose name is oxygen. Oxygen is represented by its atom O. Okay? Understood? Right? This person is breathing every day. What is he breathing? Air. Okay, he is breathing air. But what from air is it? Ultimately, Okay, I'm writing it like this now. This is oxygen. हाँ ठीक है, nitrogen भी जा रहा है, whatever it is, carbon dioxide. Ultimately, the body is accepting oxygen. Let us understand that. The question is, what form is he breathing this oxygen? Gaseous, I know. No, I have to come back to. It cannot be impure, first of all. Is oxygen an element? Yes, oxygen is an element. So, first of all, it's a pure. Now, oxygen, if you see, maybe sometimes if it's an element and if it's in that shadi.com portal, then oxygen is represented like this. O, they will write 8 here and 16, which we will see what are these. So O is one form in which oxygen is represented. Sometimes you will also see O2. What is he inhaling? O2? Then what is the difference? Element O bhi hai, element O2 bhi hai. No. My question is not that. Is he inhaling an element or is he inhaling he? This is Purush Pradhan Samaj. Is he inhaling an element or a compound? He is inhaling a compound, right? Wrong answer. Okay. No Googling, No Googling. He is inhaling element. Then why is he not inhaling O? Why O2? You're understanding there are a lot of cloud in this thing. समझ में आ रहा है ना? Answers are going wrong. That means we need to have very clear level of understanding in this particular item. I just gave an example, a rough example. A person inhales oxygen. Is the oxygen coming in element form or is it a compound? Is it a mixture? We don't know. At first, he's inhaling a mixture. Air is a mixture of gases in which the body is accepting only oxygen. Now the question is, you said he inhales O2. Then is it a compound or is it an element? So chapter shuru karne se pehle, a lot of things have to get ready. So shall we understand this thing first? Okay, come on. Right. When we talk about a pure substance is made up of one kind of particle. Rattu Tota, you all are expert. One kind of particle. A pure substance is made up of one kind of particle. Do you understand? So all of you must have played with Lego blocks and all. No? You all are all blessed children. We never had Legos, so costly items. So suppose you have got a Lego toy, Lego block, in which you have a 1 centimeter block. Whatever you are making, 1 centimeter yellow block. You're making a grasshopper or you're making a pigeon or a sparrow or whatever, or you're making your girlfriend's face. Everything is made up of what? That 1 centimeter block. Do you agree? That 1 centimeter block can be considered as a particle. So all the faces that you made were made up of one type of particle. In chemistry, a pure substance is also a form of matter. If this is made up of one kind of particle, and that one kind of particle can be of two types. My sir used to say atom or molecule. So first we have to understand in dono ke beech mein kya difference hai, right? What is the difference between these two? Okay. Atoms combine chemically to form molecules. Atoms combine chemically to form molecules. Acha, we are having a lot of information now, easy to understand and easy to forget. So ekdam aaram se samjhiye and make a notes of it once you're going. Atoms combine chemically to form molecules. That means to form molecules, if it's a chicken and egg story, then atom is first. So that's what we said, that all we have roughly around say 114 elements in this universe. And this goes on increasing or decreasing because many are radioactive. 114 elements are again divided into natural and artificial also. That's not our headache right now. What we need to understand is that there are 114 elements, means 114 different atoms. Agreed? In that shadi.com portal, we will have how many faces of girls? 114 different faces. These 114, some few among them, may chemically combine to form a molecule. Now pay attention. Oxygen is an element, and in its atomic form, this is its atomic form, it is represented as O. Understood? Two atoms of oxygen chemically combined to form something which is known as, this is an atom, this is an atom. If atom and atom chemically combine, it is known as molecule. Okay, this is known as a molecule. But there is a very interesting story. The interesting story is, this is atomic form, this is also oxygen, this is also oxygen, this is in molecular form, which makes us conclude an interesting finding that if you are an element, then you can exist in two forms, atomic as well as molecular. Now you should ask the question, sir, is it applicable to all the 114? No, not at all. Not at all. This will be seen only in non-metals. Now, what are non-metals? Let's not crack our head. Elements can exist in atomic form, and elements can also exist in molecular form. Oxygen, for example, in atomic form is O. In molecular form is O2. Now the question arises, sir, which form do we see? You can never see this one. This is that good girl's face on Shadi.com portal. Actually, the girl is never like this. She also has tantrums, temperament, speaks lies, maybe dishonest, non-punctual, everything, all qualities are there. This is purest form. Purest form. Not possible. Out of 114 elements, we have only few elements which are considered pure, and they will be there on the right side of the periodic table, extreme right column, and we place them under group 18. We call them inert gases: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. These are the, out of 114 children in my hostel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 are the only good boys and girls. And everyone tries to be like them. Do you understand? To be like them, they will either combine within themselves or they will combine with somebody else, so that they gain some property which these people have. Once again, an element can exist in atomic form as well as in molecular form. A molecule is a combination of atoms, but you can't separate them. You can't separate them. Two atoms have combined and formed a molecule. I'll show some diagrams also which will become clear to you. Question arises, sir, out of those 114 elements, are there any element which exist in atomic form? Beta, only these elements exist in atomic form: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. No other element will exist in atomic form. Question arises, sir, what is the problem with those atoms that they don't exist in this form? This is what we'll see in our next chapter. The problem is something called stability. The entire chemistry is on stability, which means, ये बिरला ओपन माइंड में आप लोग थोड़ा पढ़ चुके हैं last year. These must be stable. By birth, they are stable. Others are not stable. In order, now what is that stability? Keep it, we'll study in next chapter. In order to become stable, they have to combine with someone. That someone may be an atom of themselves or another atom. A metal, like say calcium, magnesium, aluminium, will never combine with itself. This self combination will be only seen in non-metals. Say for example, oxygen combines with oxygen as O2, nitrogen combines with nitrogen as N2, chlorine combines with chlorine as Cl2, hydrogen combines with hydrogen as H2, sulfur combines 8 of them together, forms S8. Very interesting. But you won't see magnesium 2, 2 irons. No. ये सिर्फ नॉन मेटल में दिखता है. Okay. See, the fear factor. Homeworks completed. Actually, fear is always good. Grade 8, no? Don't tell it in bus tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Have you understood this? Now let us understand what is the difference between. A lot of pending homeworks were there for this child. So, what is the difference between the atom combining and the molecule? All right. Let's see. For a cloud rahega, but try to understand. Let me represent an oxygen atom with a blue color. Another oxygen atom with a blue color. Agreed? I am trying to chemically combine them. What will I form? O2, oxygen molecule. This is atom. This is atom. Understood? And I am going to form what? Oxygen molecule. So the oxygen molecule will look something like this. Pictorially, I am trying to show you. It will be something like a green. It's not that it will be green. It will be green, inside which there will be 2 atoms of oxygen. Now, what is the difference? What I'm trying to mean by this diagram? Imagine that you can touch an oxygen atom. You can touch this. Imagine. Means this is one entity. You can touch this. When you touch this, you will be touching only the green object. That blue you can't search in, you can't touch. This is the new particle. Have you understood? Have you seen a paperweight, the glass paperweights which we used to have, which used to have a lot of designs inside this? So can you touch those blue and red bubbles inside? No, you just touch the glass. This is the molecule. Understood? Now say suppose oxygen would have existed as atom. Suppose, and this is a sample of pure oxygen. Pure oxygen. ऐसा होता नहीं है. Imagine if it was. Does pure oxygen have mass? Yes. Does it occupy space? Yes. Can you feel it? As a blast, you would be able to feel it also if it was there. That means this is matter. Do you agree? This is matter. If you microscopically observe this piece of matter, all you will get is oxygen atoms. Nothing else. Nothing else. This is like that Lego toy. The face that you made. You get only yellow cubes. So now go back. A pure substance is made up of only one kind of particles. इस ऑक्सीजन का अगर आप एक सैंपल ले लोगे, if you try to cut out this much portion and you separate it outside and you bring it outside, all you are going to say, Bhaiya, what are you made of? I am made up of oxygen atoms. Is there anything else in you? Nothing. I'm pure. Understood? One example. Our next example. Say suppose you took oxygen gas from atmosphere. Now this exists. We all know this exists. And this is a sample of oxygen gas. Agreed or not? And you tell, what are you composed of? He says, why always he? He says, I am composed of oxygen molecules. I am composed of oxygen molecules, where each of my molecule is made up of 2 atoms chemically combined together. So the question to this fellow is, are you a pure substance? Let's go back to the definition. What is a pure substance? लिखा था ना यहाँ पे, कहाँ गया? Only made up of one kind of particle. Yes, it is made up of one kind of particle. You can't touch that blue. What you see is green, 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 green. That's the last existing entity. Is it made up of one particle? Yes. That means, that's why we come when we say, I had started my discussion saying that the word particle in chemistry can mean either an atom or can also mean a molecule. ये doubt clear हुआ कि नहीं? Molecule is one particle. अंदर दिखेगा, but you can't break and reach at that level. This is its last. Means, say suppose this is a wall. This is a wall. What are the bricks of this? Atoms. What are the bricks of this? Molecules. Pure form of no metal exists. Cannot exist. As I told you, in that 114 atoms which are there in the periodic table, there are only 6 atoms which can exist. Which means aluminum or magnesium or iron cannot exist in pure form. But say God has blessed you with some great skills or strength, and you are able to pull out a sheet of magnesium. This is a sheet of, say, magnesium. And I'm saying pure. In real world, this does not exist. It cannot exist. Suppose it has existed, and you go down and try to find out, isse bane ho yaar. He will say, only one kind of particle. And that particle is magnesium atom. Mg, 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 Mg. And I ask him, dear, is there any trace of copper in you? No. Is there any trace of gold in you? No. Otherwise, I'm not made up of one kind of particle. Pure. Understood? As of now, we are talking only in terms of elements. Elements are such stylish class of substances that they can exist in atomic form also, in molecular form also. You won't see this thing with compounds. Compounds will always be in molecular form, because a compound is formed when 2 or more elements chemically combine. So a compound can never be in atomic form. An element can be in atomic form. Itna, did it enter your gray matter a little bit, or was I speaking Greek or Latin? Okay, good. Let's see something little bit more interesting. Okay. Let's now talk a little bit about compound. We will visit this. ये तो clear होता ही नहीं है बच्चों को. Don't worry. Let's look at a compound. At a definition level, we'll say atoms of different element. Okay. Different elements chemically combine, and this is real chemistry that you are studying, to form compounds. Now, there's a big issue out here. Observe the word different elements. In the previous example, an atom of oxygen had combined with an atom of oxygen to form a molecule of oxygen. This is not compound. This is not compound. ये आज भी element था, कल भी element ही है. The only thing is, here it was in atomic form, here it is in molecular form. Very good. Why do I always make mistake writing that word? Molecular form. Have you understood? Let's see this now. Atoms of different elements, okay? So let's now make it interesting. So let me take one atom of an element. The name of the element is carbon, right? Let me take 2 more elements. Let me take 2 more elements, 2 more atoms, and these are atoms of oxygen. And you very well know that these 2 usually will combine and will give you what? Will give you one molecule of oxygen. Understood? Can I, with your permission, then wipe out this one? Right? So let's see what we are doing. What we are doing. And if you have understood, explain one friend of yours in school. Your friend learns. Now, I have taken an element. Is carbon an element? Yes, carbon is an element in the periodic table. Carbon is an element represented by an atom, daddy, and we have got oxygen. So this is carbon, and we have oxygen. Is this an element? Yes. Yes. This is what has to get into it. This is an element. This is an element. Do you see different atoms out here? No, this is an element. But it is in molecular form. Did you understand? Both of them will now combine. And to show that combination, I will deliberately make copies of these so that your understanding becomes clear. Okay? Boom. I think I should get what? Yes. They will chemically combine. Got it? Chemically combine to form another new, what color? Pink. One new molecule. Now this is, but this molecule has got different type of atoms chemically combined together. You get it? This will be called as a compound, right? And the compound is carbon dioxide. And this is compound, means it will always be in molecular form. It will always be in molecular form. In the YouTube channel, you'll get one video called Bridging Courses for Atoms and Molecules. Last year for grade 9, we took 6 classes only as a separate chapter to explain this magic of chemistry. Because once you understand this, your grade 11 will be a cakewalk. So you form a new molecule, right? Let's try to understand. This is one kind of particle. This is one kind of particle. This is also one kind of particle. Because if you could have touched carbon dioxide, what will you touch? Only the pink circle. You can't touch anything inside it. Do you get it? And now suppose you got a sample of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and you just say, my dear carbon dioxide, what are you made of? I am made up of only one kind of particle, which is known as a molecule of mine. However, if you are so interested to know what is inside each kind of my particle, then each kind of my particle has 2 oxygen and 1 carbon atom also. Now, once you go inside, this molecular nature is almost lost. So we'll make this now a little bit more, since you have understood the concept. So it will finally be something like this. It will finally be a molecule of carbon dioxide which has an atom of carbon and 2 atoms of oxygen chemically combined together. So in order to show this, we will now show this as this way, and it will have 1 carbon and 2 oxygens. Go back to the definition of pure substance. A pure substance is a substance which has only one kind of particle, element, pure, element in molecular form, pure, a compound, pure. That's why cyanide, potassium cyanide was pure. Because potassium cyanide as a molecule has 1 atom of potassium and 1 atom of cyanide. But the glass of milk that your mom gave you is a mixture of many forms of proteins, starch, and maybe a lot of lactic acid and many other things. Milk ko agar hum puche na, milk, what is that one particle you're made of? I don't know, a lot of things are there in me. But if you ask potassium cyanide, he will say, boy, in your language, bro, I'm made up of only 1 molecule. And each of my molecule has 1 atom of potassium, 1 atom of cyanide. That's why I'm considered pure. So in chemistry, there are pure substances are of 2 types, elements and compounds. Elements can exist in atomic form as well as molecular form. Compounds will exist only in molecular form, which brings us one more conclusion. All molecules need not be compounds. See? All molecules, this is a molecule. Do you agree or not? This is also molecule. So a true or false question comes up. This is representing an element, this is representing a compound. There are many students who will come for job viva also will fumble on this. All molecules need not be compounds, but every compound is a molecule. Very easy. All molecules need not be compound. Okay, again, let's see. What I'm trying to say is that every molecule need not be a compound. Now your language, Gen Z language, because elements also exists in molecular form. Molecular के साथ ना कुछ दुश्मनी है. Molecular form. Elements also exist in molecular form. O2, N2, Cl2, S8, as you want. Iodine, I2, hydrogen, whatever. All non-metal, all gases. Bromine, Br2. Elements also exist in molecular form. इसलिए molecule we cannot specifically say molecule means you are a compound. No. Indian does not mean you are a Telugu. But if you are a Telugu, you are 100% an Indian. That is the concept. Need not be a compound, but every need not be, and then English is wrong out here, need not represent a compound, but every compound is represented at its lowest form by a molecule. So if I want to clone Adya today, all I need is one cell from her body and that DNA which has her coding. That is the lowest form. All the DNAs of all cells of the body will speak the same thing, language, right? That DNA level of a compound is molecule, whereas the DNA level of an element can be an atom or a molecule. यहीं पे बढ़ा जाते हैं, घबरा जाते हैं. I have spoken a lot of things. Strategic timeout for 1 minute for you to absorb and ask any question. It can be as you might feel that they are idiotic questions or something. If you don't ask any question, one thing is for certain. I should go for a Nobel Prize because whatever I'm explaining, you all are understanding everything. You all are very bright children. Or the second thing is that you have not understood anything at all. This is not easy to grasp. This takes time. And if you don't question, that means you all are special. We should recommend all of you for the Nobel Prize, along with me. Any questions so far? Anything that may come to your mind? And if it was boring, then I can't help it. Syllabus hai bhai. It's a silly nahi, no doubt is silly. You asking is very good. The ones who are quiet are silly. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you will be saying, I will document so that it will become easy for us to summarize where you went wrong or where you are correct, okay? And it will help others. Bolo. Oh, not like that. First statement, our friend Rishika is saying, I said every compound is molecular. No. Don't feel afraid, don't feel shy. Whatever you are saying, I'm supposed to just correct it. She said every compound is molecular. I will correct her words. Every compound comprises of one kind of particle which is a molecule. If you bring one tanker full of carbon dioxide gas, that tanker full of carbon dioxide gas at the lowest level has a molecule of carbon dioxide. Is this statement clear, beta? क्योंकि आज के बाद आप गलत नहीं बोलेंगे. इस ऐसे सीखना है. If I bring one tanker of carbon dioxide or one cylinder of carbon dioxide, what is inside it? Molecules, 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 molecules. What molecules? Carbon dioxide molecule. Can you go and touch one oxygen atom there? No. Can you touch one carbon atom there? No. If you want to take out one molecule, then also it is a CO2 molecule. But you can see inside it, but you can't touch it. Bubble जैसा है वो. आगे बोलिए. Very good. She is speaking out each. We are clearing doubts. आप तो सबको help कर रहे हैं. बोलिए next. Next statement. This is the statement. You can write it down. Every compound comprises of one kind of particle, which is a molecule. Therefore, in the language of chemistry, compound is a pure substance. Do you agree or not? And that was our starting example of potassium cyanide. It's pure because it's a compound. Every molecule of potassium cyanide will have one atom of potassium, one atom of carbon, one atom of nitrogen. Cyanide is a group which is formed from carbon and nitrogen called cyano. Yes, next.
I was trying to figure out the reason behind every molecule may not be a compound or may not represent. As like I was taking the example that if it already is a compound.
No, okay. Her next query is that I have a molecule. I have picked up this molecule, any one molecule from this universe, and I ask him, bhai, you represent an element or compound? I can ask him this question. The answer this fellow will say, depends. Sometimes element, sometimes compound. Then we ask, for example, O2, oxygen, nitrogen, these are all molecules. Each of these molecule comprises of two atoms. Two atoms of nitrogen make one molecule of nitrogen. Hydrogen. Acha, can you give an example here? Obviously, H2O, CO2. One atom of water has two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen chemically combined together. That's why this fellow is a fire extinguisher. The hydrogen inside is not able to show the Bhasmasur property. Neither the oxygen is able to show the supports combustion property. Because you can't reach at this level. Are you understanding? Because compounds, molecules, every compound is to be represented by a molecule. She asked, if I pick a molecule from the atmosphere, any molecule, is it that it has to be a compound? No. It can be an element also. Because there are some elements which exist in molecular form. What is a molecule? Now you should ask yourself, molecule hota kya hai? Molecule is formed by combination of atoms. More interesting. Molecule is formed by combination of atoms. Agreed? These atoms may be same or different. In this case, the molecule will represent a compound. Atoms combine to form molecule. If the atoms are similar, means what? If one atom is oxygen, the second atom should also be oxygen. In this case, they will be representing elements. Again, ask yourself, an atom comprises of an atom. What is a molecule? Okay, just like a Rattu Tota. Define a molecule. A molecule comprises of atoms chemically combined. These atoms can be similar. In that case, both the atoms are representing the same element. So the molecule that is formed will also represent the element only. Hai na? Are you understanding? Then you go by the other side, that if there are atoms which are actually combining and they are different atoms, then they will form a molecule. Now, how can you say that molecule is represented? This molecule represents only hydrogen. You think about the birth of an individual. Now, one cell is from the female parent, one cell is from the male parent. Now, if you have two cells from the female parent, overall the two cells are from the female only. Na? उसमें तो अलग नहीं हुआ. Two cells from the male, वो तो male ही रहा ना. But one from male and one from female has given you one new cell. Can you attribute it only to the female? No. Can you attribute only to the male? No. वो नया कुछ बन गया है, वो child है. That's why we say hydrogen as a gas. इसको ले आऊंगा ना. If I bring this, this will explode. This will explode. And this, in combination with this, they will say, I just need you to blast everything. But when you bring this, is this fellow present? Yes. Is this fellow present? Yes. Lock kiya hua hai. And it's so surprising that it is actually eliminating fire. So in Hindu mythology, we say one demon and another demon, their child is Bhakt Prahlad, who is worshipping Vishnu. दैत्यों के कुल में प्रहलाद पैदा हो गया. Chemistry is connected. Of course, if you know what is Bhakt Prahlad, that dude you know, and if you think you know only Harry Potter, then I can't help. समझ में आया? दैत्यों के घर में प्रहलाद पैदा हो गया है, because इसकी property is completely different from the property of these two. Did you understand a little bit about? Now we go back to our chart. From where we started. Where is that chart? Yes. Pure, nahi. What was that? Black forest cake? Yes. So black forest cake, which is matter, can be grouped into pure and impure. Matter comprises of pure and impure. Does black forest cake have sugar in it? Black forest has sugar in it. Sugar is C12, H22O11, a compound. There is pure substance also in it. And it has milk in it, obviously in cream and all form. तो हम केक को कोई compound नहीं बोलेंगे. It's a mixture. Many things hodgepodge. Typical bhelpuri. Understood? A matter can be pure. If the matter is pure, it can comprise of only one kind of particle. Say suppose today you are able to trap helium. Now very interesting. And I told you that there are some good boys. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. Helium is a very costly gas. Very, very costly. Rare hai wo. Argon also. Suppose you have an argon cylinder. Argon cylinder. So argon cylinder ke andar what will you expect? Argon gas. So let's have one argon cylinder. Argon cylinder is gray in color, children. So this is say an argon cylinder. Okay. So this is our well. This is having argon gas. If you are able to trace it at what you call at particle level, what should you get here? If you answer that, I will understand you have understood. Argon what? Argon atoms. Because I told you, these are the only one which can exist in atomic form. So here I will only see argon, 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 argon. But if this was a gas cylinder of chlorine, I will not see Cl atoms. I'll see Cl2 molecule, Cl2 molecule, Cl2 molecule. This cylinder represents an element called argon. The chlorine cylinder also represents an element called chlorine. However, the building blocks of this is atom, the building block of this is molecule, which again reinforces that elements can be represented by atoms as well as by molecules. But if I would have bought a cylinder of carbon dioxide and you hunt with Scotland Yard police also, you won't find a single atom. Everything is carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide. Means it is only molecules. And carbon dioxide is a compound. Yes, sir. No, they will never exist in molecular. They don't need to. I always see, this is simple. Suppose you go to this world You have studied about in economics about something barter system. Have you studied when there was no currency, right? You give me pen, I'll give you eraser. Say suppose you are self-sufficient. I am Ryan the king. I live in Ryan Island. I don't need anybody. मुझे किसी की जरूरत नहीं है. Then why will you come and knock my door? You are self-sufficient. You are stable. They are stable. They do not need to knock anyone. Whereas the sodium is not stable. It will knock the door of chlorine and ask chlorine, I am not stable. I want to lose something. Chlorine says, what? It says, yaar ek electron extra hai mere mein. This is what we'll learn in next chapter. Chlorine says, Amma, I need one electron. You don't want something. I want that thing. Let's be best friends. Sodium chloride, which you every day eat as common salt. Magnesium comes and says, yaar, bada problem hai life mein. Two electrons are extra with me. Oxygen says, is that I need 2 electrons. Become magnesium oxide. We'll do these marriages also. There is one, have you heard about something called alum? We use alum in Europe for purifying water. In Hindi we call it fitkari bolte hai. Fitkari bolte hai, huh? If you look at alum, the chemical formula of alum is Al2SO4 whole 3. This is one molecule of alum. Very stylish. So if you see, this is one molecule of alum. It has 2 numbers of aluminum atom. Agreed? 3 numbers of sulfur atom. This is parental property. Will be distributed between the brother and the sister. And oxygen, it will have how many? 12. 4 nahi, 12. 4 to khud ka hai. दादाजी 3 extra से दिए हैं. So see how many total atoms? 3 plus 12, 15 plus 2, 17 atoms packed in one molecule. Means if you break fitkari or alum and you try to take out one thing, it's a lot of alum molecule. Quite heavy. Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. So if I take a molecule of sulfuric acid, the hydrogen atom will be 2 numbers. The sulfur atom will be in 1 number and oxygen will be in 4 numbers. इसको भी ऐसे लाना पड़ेगा. बड़ा बड़ा है ना. Potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7. Oh my God. Potassium, 2 numbers. Chromium, 2 numbers. Oxygen, 7 numbers. We have to take carry back from home. समझ में आ रहा है? Glucose is C6H12O6. Sugar is much bigger. C12H22O11. H22O11. These are big molecules. Got it? Today we'll close here. We have still not started the chapter. Maybe only one thing we have discussed about the chapter. Matter has got pure and impure. In your school, they will say this one line and go ahead. And you will go with half knowledge to grade 11. And you will be entering the Chakravyu of the Kauravas, thinking that you are a great warrior. What will happen to you? And then you will say, Veer Abhimanyu, Veer Gati ko prapt ho gaya. Beokoof tha. You should not have done that. So, please, 1 minute. Next class when you come,